Hey, to all my views and budget, beauties on my budget. Hey, yo. Hey, hey, Amber. How you feel today? Oh, listen, hit the link. Come on, stop in. Knock on the door. Hey, Lisa. How you feel tonight? Come on, hit the knock on the door. Let me know what happened. Especially because you was here, like you was ready. Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. He was on his best behavior. Okay. After he leaves, he getting ready to leave. All right. So happy to see you here tonight, Lisa. Listen, they be requesting that you step in the building, so I'm glad you here. Grace them with your presence. Thanks for the flower. How y'all feel tonight? Happy Monday. The link's there, y'all. The link's there. Come on up. Hey, everybody. What y'all doing tonight? Y'all ready? I'm ready. Ready for a spicy kind of night. So, and was he doing things that you want to expect? Y'all? Somebody at the door. Hey, Earl.
Nobody looking for no Lisa. Stop lying up.
Huh?
I say ain't nobody looking for no Lisa. Stop lying to her.
Yes, they do. Roger look for Lisa every day. He be like, "Where she at? Where she at?" Every day. And Terry, always, because they
Stay
be
where
wanting to
she
smoke.
at.
Huh?
Lisa need to stay where she at.
Oh my gosh. Everybody except Earl.
Wrapping her up like folks
How
is
you,
looking for her.
how you feel tonight?
I'm chilling. I just had to
Okay,
come
I'm
on here.
being out tonight since we got company beauty. Okay, girl.
I
You
just
chilling
had to
tonight?
come on. I just had to come on here because you wrapping her up like folks looking for
Hey Val. How you doing tonight? You is
her.
you ain't even say hey in the comment. You just like let me hit the link. Let me go ahead and knock on the
Nah,
door
I
because
had to get that. I had to get that out first. Hey, I had to get that out first because I'm listening to you wrap her up.
you
'Cause
good now.
like we looking for
Oh my gosh. They definitely
her.
do be requesting Lisa presents.
Hey, 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 Lisa could catch up with Motor Oil.
Oh my gosh. I'm guessing it, see your stuff drop. But what I was gonna say is I'm guessing you feel better because you definitely sound like you feel good today. You definitely sound like your mouth feeling a whole lot better. Val, how you doing? How you doing? Man, I don't know what time I went ahead to shut down. Sorry about that, Val. You know I shut down every day. Hopefully not today. I said, let me get a little nap first, so I won't have. Let me get a little nap.
I don't know what happened.
You laughing too hard. That's what happened.
But anyway, how you doing? How y'all doing in the chat? I see y'all. Hey,
Listen, I'm
Val.
like, do you feel better today?
I guess. I told
You
you I'm
came
take.
up like you feel better.
No, I just had to hurry up and respond to that crazy stuff you talking about.
Not you had to hurry up. Earl, it's true. Go back. Go look at some ones. You will see. They what Lee said. What Lee said.
Yeah. Asking, not requesting.
Oh my gosh. Here you go acting like it's a difference.
Hey, we was just asking about our whereabouts. That's all.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Lisa needs to go hang out with Moto War.
Oh Lord. Motor was great. Motor was all right with me.
Yeah.
All he wanted is him a good sandwich and you to go sit down and shut up.
Hey, look. We already done came to the conclusion everybody's all right with you.
Oh my gosh.
Moto
Everybody
War
is
at a
done.
whole. Hey, Moto War was at a motel somewhere losing signal.
Lord have mercy. I got two things to talk about today. Bucket list and the way you deal with stress. Because I know we was talking about the other day about how we deal with stress. Basically, it was me and Val. But the men didn't share how they also deal with stress and the way we dealt with it. By sitting in the corner, y'all was like, So I would love to know how men deal with stress.
You know how we deal with stress.
Lick up.
From neck.
Oh my gosh. I'm
That's
sure
it.
that's not the answer for everything.
Man, listen, some good neck, and you don't even know you stressing no more.
Oh my gosh.
Long, long as it ain't no death or nothing like that to remind you. If it's some small shit, man, we ain't thinking about that shit no more.
Right.
Yeah, knock me
Okay.
off. I'm good.
That's it. Okay, but what
That's
about
it.
the
That's
very
all.
traumatic events? Like maybe
Oh,
if
then,
somebody passed away, then what?
yeah, then, you gotta talk. You gotta express yourself. You gotta, you know, not necessarily get some counseling, but you know, get some counseling, whether it be from a friend or another family member, you know, because other than
Right.
that, you know what they say, you know, pressure bust pipes. So you don't want to be sitting
Hmm.
on nothing, you know.
Okay. What about your bucket list? What's on your bucket list?
Mm, like bucket list of what aspect of
Like things that you just want to
literal
do
life?
before you leave here. Yeah,
Uh,
in life, like things you want to do, goals you want to meet before you actually leave this place.
mm, bang a couple of girls that's on my list. What else? Give me some money. Um,
Okay.
get to a couple of different places I like to see before,
Yeah. What
before
what
I
what
pass.
what are those?
Oh, it's
What's
a
the
number.
places?
It's a number of them. I want to go to China, all type of places
Okay.
over east. You know, I want to go over east to visit the Kaaba. You know,
Okay.
what else? Um, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot I want to do. As far as travel,
Wow.
you know,
Okay,
but
Val say I want to live in Japan. Bucket
yeah,
list. That's nice. Really? That's
yeah.
nice.
I want to see all that shit we see on TV
Okay.
that just seem, you know, so far away. You know,
Mhm.
I ain't trying to go nowhere where they in war or killing
Right.
or don't like us.
Hmm.
So I
I want to
won't
go
be
to the
going to war.
rainforest.
You say the rainforest?
Hmm.
What, like Amazon?
Amazon. Amazon.
Yeah,
I want to go
Amazon
to the
rainforest.
rainforest or like um
You know
it was
that is a rainforest. Amazon,
yeah,
not the
the
store.
Amazon rainforest.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. But either the rainforest or I want to go to it was another one I was thinking of. But anyway, yeah. Tropicals,
Hey,
right, right. I
hey,
just because I I always say every day I love nature. Just to go be in the rainforest like for like a week. Could you just imagine?
yeah.
Man. And you seeing all the mangoes, the apples, all the good old fruit.
Hmm. Hey, so I spoke to my buddy. He was telling me
Hmm.
he did check the one segment out that we was on. I think it was your second time doing the panel, and I
Okay.
came back. Okay, he said he checked it out. He said he will come through, but he said it's got to be on a professional note, and you got
Okay.
to always know the topics and all that stuff. And he said he'd come and chill
Okay.
out. Yeah,
Right.
he'll do
Because it
30,
was
30
all over the
minutes to,
place.
yeah, he said he'll do 30 minutes to an hour. So I was letting him know I did, tell you about him and, let you
Okay.
know a little bit about his, occupation and what he doing as far as, his business, as far as his books and things of that nature. So you gotta be looking out for him.
Thank
Yep.
you. Yeah, I'm gonna
All
go look
right,
at some
man.
other panels and things like that, and go check it out for I can see what they actually talk about and things like that, and make it very professional.
Yeah. Well, you
Yeah,
ain't too
that's
far
all.
off. You ain't too far off.
You don't
We
think
just be
so?
kind of no. I told you what the problem is. Just be the streetwalkers. Other than that, we decent in here. But
Yeah,
hey,
yeah,
we gotta narrow it down, right? We gotta
right.
narrow it down on the people side.
Lord have mercy. You is funny. So yeah,
What they
just some
talking? What they
rainforest
talking?
stuff like that.
What they
You
talking
been
about in
talking
the
to
chat?
who?
I said what they
Oh,
talking chat.
yeah. Val said I want to live in Japan. Then she said the tropicals, like So yeah, just things that we want to do. I know her way of handling stress was the same way as mine, basically shutting down.
Oh, I see Amber was on here. She said, hey Amber,
Oh,
hey
okay. You can see
Lisa,
the you can see the chat now.
hey look, hey Lisa, if you still around, if you can hear this,
Yeah, Lisa was here. So yeah, they need to come on in. They strolling in late, but come on in, y'all. Come on in. I know the boss probably to get on his stuff and laugh. So I know he probably trying to hurry up to eat. You got any other places you want to go to? Do you like nature?
Yeah, I do. Hey, I'm gonna respond to Val. She said
Okay.
prostitution is the oldest profession. It's as old as time. Yeah, they call that
Hmm.
the original. What do they call it? The original. I want to say occupation, but it's not occupation. It's the profession. Yeah, the oldest
Hmm.
profession. That's what it's called. Exactly.
That's because you
What
was
is
talking
the
about street. You was talking about
yeah?
streetwalkers.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
but when
yeah,
I
yeah.
say streetwalkers, I don't mean prostitutes. I just mean whoever walk
People
that
that
way. It don't
yeah,
matter if
people
they
that
smoking meth, crack, just all the streetwalkers.
right.
Not just prostitutes.
Somebody at the door. Door. Oh.
Yo, what's
Hey, how
good?
you doing?
What's going on?
What's
Nothing.
happening, man?
Hi.
What's the live about, y'all?
We talking about
What
bucket lists and also how do men handle stress. So how do people handle stress? But welcome, Mike. This is Mike. This is Earl.
Hey, what's
You
going
new
on,
what's
Earl?
here?
up,
What's
Mike?
good, Brody?
What's good? What's good, man?
Not much, man. It's all types of stuff how people handle stress, man. Especially what's going on in today's age, where us as a people, we've gotten far, but we're still like two steps back amongst many other races. And it's not
Mm-hmm.
even about race, it's about how do we stand as a people. I believe that a majority of the time we have a hard time handling stress as far as all the shit that's going on because we do not have the ability to unify as a people amongst each other like every other race. We have a very hard time getting our shit together because of the generational curses, the lack of knowledge, the willing to set our differences aside in order to get ahead. Because in this society, the supposedly so-called enemy ain't even doing what they doing. You know what I'm saying? They having us do it to one another. You know, they tried to promote a
Exactly.
race war at first, and then after that
Right.
they tried to put against us with the sexes, with the whole bullshit with feminism, where we as a
Mm-hmm.
people know that we have no position in being in that shit because we are not each other's oppressors, because they know that the people on the outside already got us oppressed. Throwing the book at us. That ain't our jail system. That ain't our justice system. We have yet to get reparations for the last past couple of years, still turning on one another, still calling each other names and shit. When it's not us that are oppressing one another as much as we think we have. We just screwing each other over, and the people that are behind the scenes are actually promoting it. They got us going against the graces of God, calling each other bitches and hoes, and not believing that we're getting punished, because we're getting punished from the get-go because we didn't follow God's words and God's commandments. And I stand firmly on that. Once we start following God's commandments and say, hey, look, you know what, sis, I ain't having sex with you, I ain't having no kids with you unless we marry, but we not getting married by the state because the state don't govern us. We're supposed to be getting married and recognized under God. And instead of the fellas over there, instead of killing, robbing, raping one another, selling drugs, all this other shit that's in between, downplaying one another, we each need to get together and start building our community and holding our fucking selves responsible for each other's doing. Like, yo, what is you doing robbing that car? Yo, what is you doing pulling out guns with people? Nah, niggas, stop that shit. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna set you up with a job. You ain't trying to work, then you know what? We can't offer you no more protection because you want to go ahead and do shit the stupid way And when you're doing shit the stupid way, you no longer representing this family. And you don't want to
Mm-hmm.
get a job and hold down that job. Instead, you only want to hold a job just to get two pairs of sneakers and then quit. And then you complaining about, oh, I ain't making enough money because you ain't stick it out, bro. You ain't a worker. You ain't trying to build your own generational wealth. You trying to build them generational curses. And that's why you
Hmm.
keep getting what you getting. You know what I mean? If you
Yeah.
complaining about the so-called, and I'm not saying it to be racist, you saying it's the white man's fault, but it's only our own people doing the bullshit here. You got a job, you getting money. You ain't talk about, you ain't have that mental mindset elevation to say, look, even though I may be getting pennies right now, well, let me get with a couple of my of the boys and whatnot, put something together, put our chips together, come with an agreement, and then try to make a way to where we have our own businesses and our own communities. That way we won't have to go out and work for somebody else. We'll be making our own money, but we'll be so fucking
Mm-hmm.
legit where our own community is supporting us. Because if you haven't noticed, perfect example, you in your own neighborhood, right? You seeing
Right.
outside people, outside sources, foreign people. They're opening up businesses in our neighborhoods because they know that we make a majority of the money through that collective. Instead, they have us give them our money for their services, whether we like it or not, still downplay us. Then they take that money and they put it into their own neighborhoods after pulling our money out of our neighborhoods and investing it into their families, investing it into their communities, investing it into their future generational wealth after they pull our money out of our neighborhoods. If a lot more
Mm-hmm.
ladies would go ahead and open up their own beauty salons and beauty supply stores, they wouldn't have to go to the Chinese dude. If
Mm-hmm.
us as a people, we have our own clothing stores, the fellas and our own restaurants and food chains, we wouldn't have to worry about getting paid minimum wage or beneath the minimum wage standards. We'd have our own shit if we just stick
Mm-hmm.
together. There's
Okay.
no unity. There's none.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
If we had our own weed dispensaries, there'd be no more killings in the neighborhood. People will hold each other accountable. Like, yo, I just gave you that pack. That pack went into this neighborhood. Oh, I got robbed. No, you don't have to worry about getting robbed because the dude that used to be the robber, I put him up as security. He don't have to worry about being robbed because he knows all them people in the community he gonna hold accountable because of the fact that he's not doing the inside job work because he's already getting paid. So he's gonna do his job to protect that weed dispensary and it's legit. So you don't have to worry about people trying to come down and crack down on you because it's all legit. It's already paid for. It's already
Mm-hmm.
taxed. You already offering
Mm-hmm.
jobs. You like the weed? You want to study weed? Okay, we're gonna put you in the weed dispensary. We're gonna train you up. You're gonna have a clean record. We're gonna go to court. We're gonna get the shit clean. You're gonna be able to possess a firearm or hold that firearm, and you're gonna have a
Mm-hmm.
security license. You're gonna have all your shit legit. You ain't gotta worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
if you're doing shit low key, you just fucking yourself up. Now you just put yourself in the crosshairs of the system.
Right. Do you think
It's
we
no
could change
unity.
it? I always say if we ain't building generational wealth, we building generational poverty. And I don't think
Yeah,
everybody understand that. They
that's
never
the
talk about
generational
how we
curse. That's the generational
Woo.
curse, sis. That is seriously
Right.
the generational curse. We can make a change, but it's gonna take a lot of thinking, a lot of holding the brothers and the sisters accountable, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of home training. Fathers are gonna have to get back into the home. A lot of fathers are gonna have to a lot of mothers and fathers are gonna have to set their differences aside, which is very hard to do.
And work
We're gonna
together.
have to yeah, we're gonna have to set our differences aside amongst one another and stop getting involved with the system that is already being incentivized to
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
separate us.
Mm-hmm.
They're being incentivized to separate us. They go, hey sis, look, we want you to go ahead and we want you to go ahead and get this man out of the house because we know that he yields the family structure. He yields the chain of that structure. Don't look down on him, sis. You do all you gotta do is just get him out of here. We'll pay you a certain amount, and
Hmm.
that's it. Now they say, okay, good. Now that he's out the house, now we get access to the mother and to the kid. Hey, look, you want some more money? Check this out. You want to put him on child support? We'll get the money from him, right?
Huh.
In the
We'll
meanwhile,
get the
while
money
he's
for you.
yeah, we'll get the money for you, but in the meanwhile, they're robbing his pockets 4 times over. And let me tell you how. They take his money that he could supposedly be earning or filing income taxes instead. Here you go, babe. Take this half. I'm gonna take this half towards building our future or whatever like that. You take this half, I take this half. Instead, they go, no, 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 no. She's gonna get it all because she's not gonna know how to spend it because he's not there to govern her to be able there to be there to help have it to people boosting that
Right.
generational wealth and setting things aside to keep that kid afloat so that way the
Hmm.
future generation could pass the torch. Instead, we're going to break y'all down. We're going to get incentivized according to this court case document for helping separate y'all so that we get paid and we could be incentivized to put in that money in our own pockets to fleece your estate. There is a thing called an estate when the mother and the father lay down with one another and that child is born, they create an estate for that child. That estate for that child instantly, if you look on that birth certificate, it's automatically incentivized and traded off a GMEI utility, and they trade off on the name. They trade off on it, and they get paid. They go ahead, they get a what is that called? A bond, and that bond is like a corporate trading bond that they sell it off on Wall Street, and they get money to keeping the bullshit going. That's why you haven't noticed a majority of the time fathers 90% of the time lose custody when it comes down to the custody case. The father wants to be there, but they get incentivized like, hey, look, we're gonna get you all of these, we're gonna get you all of these benefits, we're gonna get you all of these privileges, but you know what I'm saying? You don't own your kids, so you gotta sign over your rights to the state, and we'll be your daddy. We're gonna take all of
Mm.
that from you. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna give you the money. We're gonna give you everything. He's not gonna have a part in it because we know that if he has a hand in it, then that's no money in it for us. So we're gonna keep the bullshit going so that way your child does not have a father there to govern or to be that authority father figure to be like, no, I don't want you doing that. Your mother's not watching you, but I see what you're doing because you're a part of me. There's a side to her that's always going to say yes because she's nurturing. Me as a father, I'm not going to let you get away with that shit. So, no, you're not going to do that. You're going to do what I say. You're going to listen to me and you're going to listen to your mother. And we don't want you out there in these streets. We don't want you out there doing shit that we don't know about. We are going to make sure our torch gets passed on. And
Hmm.
the state goes, no, 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 it's okay. Let the child do what she want to do. So that way, when she gets locked up, we could go ahead, we could put out another bond, and she'll be a slave to the system for years and years. She'll be getting oppressed because it'll be out of her own free will from her bad decisions from not having the proper guidance there. And that's how that works, and they bank off of that. These lawyers, these judges, they bank off of that. If you hire an attorney, the attorney does not have your best interest at heart. It's called corpus juris secundii, Article 7, Section 4, where a lawyer is nothing but an officer of the court, and anytime you hire that double agent, which is the lawyer, his duty goes and must yield to the latter when he is called. His duty goes first to the bar association and then to the courts into getting people into those contracts, never to his client.
Wow. Oh, I know. I want us to do better as people.
I do too, but it's gonna take a lot of knowledge. A lot of people don't know that when they call us African Americans, we're not really African Americans. And I'm not saying that to
Mm.
be racist. I know the truth. And
Right.
everybody in here in this chat and on this live really needs to look into that. If you look back into getting a hold of your ancestry, not from ancestry.com, but getting your information from your elders. Your elders are the missing key to that link. They are the
Mm-hmm.
missing key because they know about our history, but everything's gone so far, so bad that they're like, well, what should I tell him for? He's not gonna listen. You know,
Huh.
he's conformed to the ways of the world. In other words, they listen to everything else in the world that's going on. If you check back in your history, you'll see that your mother and your father, your great grandmother and your great grandfather are not African American. They're actually American Indians. You want to know why?
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
want to know why they said the Indians disappeared? Because we are the American Indians.
Mm.
Y'all don't know it. See, each and every one of y'all are part of a tribe. Y'all just haven't gotten that information because it's been scrubbed from the records due to all the racism, all of that other nonsense here and in between. Y'all all come from different tribes.
Wow.
You gotta look up your tribe. I'm from the Cherokee, and there's another tribe that I'm also a part of. I gotta look that up because I have wrote it down in the book before my grandfather had passed on my mother's side. And yeah, we're a part. We are the American Indians, not those other Indians that you see on TV with the straight hair. No, I'm talking real tribes. That right there is just regular shit. We are the American Indians. If you look at
Mm.
this form, it's called the SF 181, South Franklin 181 form, and it'll have it says race. It's a race form. It basically gives you a description of your race, and it'll say, oh, black African American. That's not us. Black African American does not exist. They say if you're one of the tribes in Africa, you're not one of the tribes in Africa. Africa is a continent. It's not a country.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's a continent. So when you go to get to looking it up, it's actually referring to our status. Anything that's black underneath the status, that's why they always trick people to put that in. Once you say you're African American, at that point you have no rights.
Mm.
You have no rights, and they're gonna treat you accordingly. I
Mm.
got into it almost with the judge, and I said, yeah, there's a couple of things. It says that I'm African American on the ticket, and I'm not African American. I'm American Indian, and I find that to be racist. He said, well, wait a minute. What do you mean? Then he signaled the sheriff to lock the door, and I was the only one in there with me, him, the sheriff, and the clerk and the judge.
For what?
A ticket. I was basically traveling, not driving. I was traveling, which every American has the right to do. If you're an indigenous man or woman on the land, and that's not even being a sovereign citizen, because a sovereign citizen does not exist. That's what I told them. I said this constable has called me a sovereign citizen. I'm not a sovereign citizen. I'm American Indian, one of the original indigenous people on this land, and you had me here in this court. The people were never supposed to pull me over, and I made sure that I told y'all to leave me alone. And I will be notifying the Department of Justice. Ever since then, they don't even bother with me anymore because of how I did them. I told him I wasn't having it no more. So then after that, he just looked at me and was just like, up, case dismissed. Yep. Yo, who's got the thing on in the background? Yo,
What do you have kids?
do I have kids? Yes, I do.
Yeah. Do you tell them all about this? Are you still with the mom?
Nah, I'm not with the mom no more.
So do you go over and still be a father to the babies?
Well, unfortunately, my situation is different from a lot of people's. I'm still with one of the individuals that are still ignorant to what's really going on.
Mm.
So, you know what I mean? We had basically differences to where, she chose the system over, over the actual situation that's actually going on. So I
Mm-hmm.
told her, I said, listen, I don't really want no parts of that. And I'm just gonna do what I gotta do for him on this end. I can't be around her because of the fact that when they say false accusations, that's why I draw the line. And that's why I got my passport, stuff like that. I still love them. I still be there for them. I set up the generational wealth and everything on my end. But as far as that, no, I'm not in their life like that as much as I would like to be. And that is one of the main things of what I'm looking at right now. But other than
Okay.
that, I already set up a trust for them. I already set up a business for them. I already trademarked their names for them. I already
That's
set up
good.
a LLC for them. Little stuff like that. I already did their status for them.
Mm-hmm.
Everything straight.
That's good. How
Yep.
old are you?
I'm 43, going on
Oh,
44. Even though I don't sound like it.
no. What
I'm sorry?
zodiac?
Taurus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I be really sometimes even in the car, I be wanting to pull over and talk to different groups of people to explain to them we can do a lot more than what we doing. A lot
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. But what a lot of people fail to realize is this, though. There are people in the world that you can change, and then there's people in the world that you cannot.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain people in the world that you cannot change, no matter what you do, because they're so hooked into the
Yeah.
matrix. They're
Well,
so hooked
you
into it
gotta
to the
focus
point
on
to
the ones
where,
that you can change.
yeah, they don't want change.
No, yeah, I say you gotta focus on the ones that you can change.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And for everybody that doesn't know, a lot of people really need to get control over their own name. Nobody has control over their own name. The more
Yeah,
you have control over the name, you don't necessarily need to own your name, but control it. Nobody has control over their own name.
mm-hmm.
Nobody's copywritten over their name. Nobody's trademarked their name. That's how a majority of the problems go away. You get a ticket, you bring that up in court because all they want to do is make money off of the name. They want to write up a couple of bonds and stuff. That's why they want your signature whenever you get a ticket. Whenever they bring your
Mm-hmm.
name in court, they want to call that name. That name, you don't control it. You don't own it until you put it out there that you do.
You have to pay a fine or anything.
Nope, I don't have to pay any of that. Majority of the time, when I say other things, I make a lot of that stuff go away.
Mm-hmm.
You make a lot of that stuff go away because you have control over that name. The whole purpose of the name, that all capital name, is not even your own name that you own. What that's called is called the ens legis. It's called a
Strange
because
and
I'm trying to
interesting.
pass on the knowledge. Yeah, I'm trying to pass on the knowledge to y'all so that way hopefully y'all get a whole full gist of it. That name that y'all have is called the ens legis. It's an all capital letter name. Anytime that name you get, anytime you're in trouble, anytime you're brought before a court case, that's an all capital letter name. That name is not you. That social security number is not you. That's an account. It's an account
Mm-hmm.
that when you're first born, they make out of it kind of like a avatar in Monopoly.
Right.
That avatar represents your business. It goes like this. Okay, when your mother and your father first meet, this is called maritime law. Your mother, your father, they meet, they make love, they have sex, whatever. They lay down. Now you're in your mother's womb, right? Your mother's pregnant. She's the ship that's bearing precious cargo. You are that precious cargo. Your father is the seaman on deck, protecting that precious cargo. Once that time is up and the birth waters is about to shoot out of the mother, you arrive on at where? The hospital. And at the hospital, you're a ship. The mother is the ship, and it falls into the doctor's hands, aka the doctor, docket, the doc, and it becomes precious cargo, the child. And that's maritime law. Maritime. The law dealing with ships. We got 3 different jurisdictions, right? When it comes down to it, there's equity, which is at the top. That means closest to God, equity. The next one is called admiralty, right? The whole shit dealing with taxes and everything, the Queen of England. And then the one that's in the middle is called maritime, the one dealing with ships, war, all of that other stuff. So that's 3 different jurisdictions, right? One is a tax, which is admiralty. That's the shit that you end up going in the court for. The next is the admiralty. That's with the taxes. Maritime, that's with the war with the ships, and equity is the air. In other words, up in the air, that's with God, the Father, right?
Right.
The Son and the Holy Spirit. Equity. Then you got common law and equity, common law, and admiralty. The shit having to do with taxes. Common law means don't hurt anyone, don't kill anyone. There's 3 different jurisdictions, and then there's that admiralty, which is that taxation shit. When you're dealing with equity, that means you're dealing according to God, because there's 2 sides, right? There's 2 sides, 2 laws. Anytime you get hemmed up, they always bring you in under the common law. But they got rid of that because they don't want to be held accountable for the corruption shit that they're doing, the judges. So they said, well, fuck it, we'll deal with admiralty. That shit having to deal with contracts and taxes. We'll get them that way. But if you're dealing in equity, equity uses the scriptures of the Bible. Equity. As long as you didn't hurt nobody, as long as you didn't kill nobody or do crimes of the body, that's what common law is. Common law still exists, but they don't pull it up in court. They just pull up admiralty. So there's 2 laws. There's God's law, equity, and then there's man's law. Man's law uses statutes and codes and offers you no protection. And what did God say in the Bible? God said, for I am a jealous God, and you will have no other gods before me, etc., etc. So when you follow under God's law, if God is for you, then who could be against you? And that's where you get your private rights as a private American. When you're doing everything that's in admiralty, when you start spitting out statutes and codes, oh yeah, statutes and codes, this kept me out of this and this, that, and the third, then you're offered no protection. So the judge could still throw you in jail.
Right.
You could still get thrown in jail. The judge don't give a shit at that point. He said, well, I could just get rid of this guy, whatever, use the statutes and codes. That's why you get hit with the penal code. Penal codes are statutes that's under man's law. He made those laws as man. Therefore, you don't get no protection. But when you're under God's law, you get God's protection. And they can't do nothing about it when you're dealing in equity. He said, I'm getting Bobby Hemmett vibes. Who's Bobby Hemmett?
I guess you're going to have to look him up. She said I like it, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I read about how the mother is bringing in a ship, and basically you sign over your rights to your baby. That's what the birth certificate is about. I read all about how over our rights to our baby, and basically how they make money off of us. And
Yeah,
we could,
yeah. A lot of ladies, yeah, a lot of ladies don't know that the father has the equal rights just as much as you do, but when you're going through contractions, they basically have you unknowingly hand over your rights, and then they attack the father so that we're not able to help y'all. I mean, we're able
mm-hmm,
to help y'all off the books, but in no way should you get the men on the outside that's in the system to help y'all, because if they're snatching y'all, if they're making rules, they're trying to play God over y'all, and you consented to it without reserving your rights. So that
mm-hmm.
means even though they say, okay, listen, we're gonna give you custody of your child, the child was
Right.
yours. The child is both of y'all is given to y'all by God, because it's supposed to be
Mm-hmm,
God first, not these people first. It's God first, then the
mm-hmm,
man. You know what I'm saying? Then the woman at the totem pole. That's how it's supposed to be. That is the natural order in order for us to be under God's protection. But a lot of us have said, oh well, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and join in with the system, and that's wrong, because when you join in with the system, now you're not even offered that man's protection who's under God, providing that he is a godly man, to give you that protection. And the
mm-hmm.
state, think about it, the state can literally come in and take your kids at any time, saying, you know what, you're an unfit mother, and we see that you're doing this. We've heard all of these false accusations. Nah, that father will come in and be like, nah, you're not taking my kid. I'll you know what I'm saying? I will do you dirty. I will send you to the upper room. I'm not gonna say, what I really want to say on this live. I'm gonna keep it clean and simple out of respect. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
Be like, yo, I will boom you to the
you.
upper
Right.
room. You go ahead and you mess around and you try to take that. They try to take my property. I will boom. I will
Mm-hmm,
send you to the upper room. I'll send you to
right.
the upper room so fast in a flash. You blink and you'll be like, where am I? You know what I'm saying? You'll be like, welcome to the upper room. You just got sent to the upper room. Like, that kind of joint. Yeah. So without that protection, the kids are not protected, and shorty's not protected. A lot of shorties nowadays, they be like, well, I just want to do what I want to do, and I don't really care as long as I'm getting these benefits. Hey, showing out. When it's that bond that y'all made, and if y'all knew, and I got evidence of this, if y'all really knew how much these private corporations get incentivized to get paid off of your demise and the destruction of the family, your head will spin, because they got paid off of what everybody wasn't too knowledgeable about what they signed up for.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, fellas, if y'all hear me out there, do not sign the birth certificates if you can. If you did, there's another way to get around that. I know a way around that. Y'all need to start really paying attention to your name. Your name holds power in those signatures. You go ahead and no, motor oil. You're not an average citizen. You're not an average citizen. Let's get that off. If you've got your information and everything set up, providing that you are not constantly in trouble with the system, because these people, they know who's who, and they know what's up, and they know a lot of people are waking up, because we had the wool over our eyes for so long. When Theodore Roosevelt came in before the gold standard, he was dressed up as a bishop, a member of the church, supposedly, aka the Vatican. He said, we're gonna take back this country, and everybody's clapping, yeah, we're gonna take back this country. That's not what he meant.
Right.
He said, every man, woman, or child, we're going to take back this country. What he's really saying is, we're going to hang everybody up on the noose and take back everything that you think you may own, but you don't own. because what he got us in, remember, like I said, the whole situation with ships, he said we're conquered booty. And I know that shit kind of sound crazy. Conquered booty, that sound like on some, alphabetical, that other side, if you know what I mean. I ain't gonna say it up here. But they said
Okay.
that we're conquered booty. In other words, conquered property,
Mm-hmm.
according to the pre 1933 gold standard. We're in a what is that called? State of emergency. We're in a state of emergency. Why do you think the original gold and silver, the original money was gold and silver? It still is. Not the fake currency that you see today. The fake currency that you see, that's the dollar bill.
Mm-hmm.
They go ahead, they say, hey, we're going to print out some more paper. Some shit go down, we're going to print out some more paper. That ain't real currency. That's why the value of the dollar has gone down. We're trading currency, which is called fiat currency, which really has no value. It only has value in the state. And a lot of those
Mm-hmm.
wars that we were going back and forth in, saying, yeah, we're going to liberate this country. We're going to rescue everybody. We're going to set the record straight. Correction. We've went in there for bankers wars. Bankers.
Right.
Bankers wars. All of that World War I, World War II, World War III shit. Bankers wars. We're fighting over resources, gold and silver. And anybody that ever came across got smacked down. If you don't believe
Uh,
me, check out Cracking the Code, which is 3 books of the UCC, and they tell you everything that's going on. The UCC.
okay.
Yeah, it's actually that deep, but you gotta have all your shit set up. The gold backs the money. Why do you think the United States, the Watergate scandal, all of that money with the gold, the drugs and all this other shit, we took all of that, sold it. It was like, yeah, man, we're gonna make some money off of this shit. But they don't send their kids off the war. And look at that, we're about to be at war again.
Hmm.
All of that freaking gold and silver we stole from France. France don't even want to deal with us no more because we was like, oh, what happened to the gold and silver? We don't. Here's America. We don't know. Yo, so when we getting our shit back, man, we don't know. We just stole your shit. Not we, but the powers that be stole your shit.
Mother Oil say, how do we say our names?
Proper way to take back your name. First of all, you got to make a claim to that birth certificate. You never made a claim to the birth certificate. You're supposed to be at the age of majority, which is supposed to be at the age of 7. You're supposed to make a claim back through the birth certificate using the UCC first.
Mm-hmm.
That's first and foremost. If your mother is still alive, she's the one that handed off your estate to the state. The state is a legal fiction. It doesn't have any rights. So you got to take your shit back by having her sign an affidavit of life. Because right now they're trying to say each and every one of us is presumed dead. Notice how I know that? All right, when you walk into a courtroom and you sit down before that judge comes in, what does the sheriff or bailiff say before the court begins?
All rise.
All right, and what does the dead do? Rise, right? From the grave, right? Okay, there goes your point right there. All
Mm.
rise, saying that everybody in the court is dead. But if you
Mm.
sit there, they're going to know who's dead and who's not.
Mm.
Something to think about, food for thought.
So what if you do sit there? Then what?
If you do sit there, sometimes you might even get the sheriff. He might look at you funny, and the judge that'll be just coming in will look and say, okay, he's sitting down, he's alive. And then he'll be like, okay, well, if you got to go up for a court case, providing that you didn't hurt or kill anybody, you're supposed to go ahead and hear your court case last, because that's what happened with me. I went to go ahead and hear my court case last, and the judge had the sheriff go ahead and lock the door so that nobody else could come in. And then when they tried to call the name, I said, judge, um, I'm the authorized representative over that name, and I'd like for that court case for that name in particular to be heard last and to
Mm.
be heard in private judge's chambers. He'll go ahead and just have you sit back down, and he'll handle everybody else. He'll handle everybody else on that money conveyor belt, pulling in all that money because they don't want you alerting the public. And for
Mm-hmm.
anybody that's listening, that's hearing what I said, remember, don't say, oh yeah, I'm gonna do all of this other shit. No, 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 no. Keep your mouth shut. That's for private people, because not everybody else is supposed to even come into this knowledge of what I'm telling
Well, it's raining here.
you. Uh-oh, I see you already done heard the storm. Boom!
You sending them my way.
Talk about the drum roll. And a lot of people don't realize too that, in these end of times, we're gonna get rescued by a lot of different nations that's gonna come to our rescue after America has been so oppressed, because America's got blood on its hands. And that's
Mm-hmm.
confirmation for you right there. That whole thunderclap, that's confirmation.
Oh man,
Yeah, I heard it. We all heard
it,
it.
it really is. So it like no water came down,
That's
none.
telling you something right there. We're dealing with different shit that's going on. Notice how there was a full moon for the past couple of days, really bright. Something's really gonna happen. So you gotta stay prayed up. You gotta keep your blessings up. Don't be
It's
falling into the wicked ways of this world.
it's no water that came down.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you. Certain stars, when you look up in the clouds at nighttime, that don't even move. Certain stars
Mm,
that are brighter than others, and then you may get a star that be so bright, be like, yo, it's a star that's sitting up there and it's just glowing at its brightest.
mm,
That's probably not a star. That's probably a chariot or a spaceship just sitting there.
mm.
That's how we keep going through those little parts of quantum and time where you're thinking, damn, was I in this time before? Did this shit just happen? I must have dreamed being in this world. It's all coming back to fruition. The people that are constantly doing the same shit, thinking that, hey, I could get away with it. I'm just as wicked. You see them getting picked off. God is
Mm,
allowing certain people to get picked off because maybe there's something that they're doing that is not in agreement with him. And he's just like, well, he didn't listen. He's still going in the wicked ways of the world. So I'm going to teach him a lesson. Or I'm going to get him taken out for not listening to me or not following my words. So he'll
mm-hmm.
allow certain shit to happen so that the world can be cleansed.
Hmm. That's what I think. The C19 was the cleansing. I
Yeah,
really do.
yeah. For people that didn't believe in saying, hey, you know what? If I die, I'm going to die by my own hand. Why would I inject this unknown chemical into my body? I just corrupted my temple.
Mm,
My body is my temple. Why would I put this poison in my system? And if you haven't noticed, there's a whole very vast spread of HIV in Houston. The numbers are going up because that is the virus. A lot of people
mm,
was, oh, I'm gonna get the shot. I'm safe. You know what I'm saying? Let me get the jab. Oh, I'm safe or whatever. They go ahead and they have all this sex. That's not your DNA that you're pushing out. You're pushing out something extra. That venom.
mm.
You get what I'm saying? You got to be real careful who you have sex with, who you lay down with, because you never know. They
Oh,
might be a carrier. Yeah. Don't be having sex out there with people as much as this world has been corrupted. You go ahead, you have a sex with new people, you better get them checked, and they better be wearing, a fucking helmet on their soldier. You
hmm.
going in there, you about, trying to let them shoot the club up. You're gonna have some problems. You're gonna end up in that clinic.
Oh, I already know. Listen, I mean, it's so scary, super scary.
I mean, it's not just that; it's reality, sis. A lot of people think that it's a joke, but it ain't a joke out here. You see a lot of shit. Oh, I don't need no nigga, whatever. I don't need no man's protection. And what ends up happening? She ends up getting beat up out there in the middle of the street. No man to
Mm,
protect her, and it was usually by her own mouth and her own rash decisions. A lot of dudes
mm,
out there, man, f all these chicks is hoes and all this other stuff. Stop it, bro. You know you faces insecurities because maybe your pops wasn't in the home, or maybe he failed raising you, so now you're taking it out on other females, or maybe you was just singly mother raised. I was blessed to have a mother and a father in the household to bless me with that, tutoring. It may have not been the greatest, but it was something for me to go off of. And a lot of people need to be grateful because many other people are not even getting that chance because of the separation of the homes due to the system. It's already
mm,
geared towards you, against you,
hmm.
or because we couldn't put our differences aside and handle our shit privately. That's the whole
But
thing. When you got a situation, handle it privately. I'm
if
sorry,
the
what?
family, that's because they know family is the real wealth. If families stick together,
Yeah,
they are definitely be wealthy.
yeah, but you see, it also goes down as far as generation to generation. We'll have shackles on us, but those are independently invisible shackles, shackles of the
Mm,
mind. Not just the
mm,
chains. The change was a while ago, and it still goes on. The change is the prison system, right? And the judicial system, the justice system. Those are the invisible shackles, right? But then you also have the generational curses, which is also the invisible shackles as well. Family feuding with one another rather than getting along. This one started a rumor about that one. That one thinking this one is better than that one. That one don't want to get along with this one because they're so stubborn in their ways rather than just say, hey, you know what? You had that kid with that man. You got to deal with that man. Hey, bro, where you going? Nah, nah, nah. Don't leave. Bring your ass right back. Talk to that woman. Even though y'all don't want to be together, then that's fine. That's on y'all. But y'all gonna be together for this kid. Y'all gonna be together for this kid. Trust me, y'all gonna be together for this kid. Because if something happens to that kid, you're gonna remember it for the rest of your life. Ma'am, if you go ahead and you do something out of order, I'm gonna make sure that you undergo through suffering. It's already in God's plan. That kid is gonna run loose. That kid is gonna be an abomination. If it's not raised by both the mother and the father, he will either be overly feminine as far as the man, and the man has no place. A little boy has no place being raised so much by his mother because then at that point, he's not going to really know how to operate from a masculine man's perspective on how to deal with the world because men and women get treated differently in the system. We operate differently in the system, and that's not no shade. That's not throwing no shade to anybody. A woman that is properly taught by her mother, with the best that she has, is supposed to teach her daughter how to be feminine, and the father's supposed to teach the boy how to be masculine. So that way
mm,
they both could hold their positions in the world, and with the both of the proper guidance from both parents, if given the circumstances, are supposed to come together to create that bond so that way both sides will teach the kid on how to not make the same mistakes that we are making. That is how you break past that generational curse. If that ain't done, then the process is going to repeat over and over again, over and over again, like a cancer, over and over again. If your father's an alcoholic, if you don't know how to break that generational curse and you see him drinking, then you're going to try to drink and become an alcoholic and then pass that shit on to your parents. If you got a problem where you're overly indulging in sex without having the proper guidance to have some sexual dick or pussy discipline, you're gonna end up falling victim to getting a lot of chicks pregnant or having sex, maybe even falling ill to a disease, ending up in the clinics, or worse, ending up dead. Because then, with that uncontrollable sex without that dick discipline or coochie discipline, you're gonna end up running here, poking this out, or getting piped out, or whatever. No proper discipline without vetting the person to see if that's what you're gonna be in long term. And a lot of dudes and a lot of women, we all like raw sex. We all like raw sex. That is in our nature. But
lately.
you see what I'm saying? Ain't no dude. He gonna be like, "Hey, shorty, I'm feeling you here. Let me put that song." Wait a minute, why you putting that on for? I thought I was you. I thought I was the only one for you.
Mm.
Why you putting that on? Oh, you know what? Nah, I'm just not gonna put this on. You know what I'm saying? It just feels so good. Let me slide. You know what I mean? Let me slide. Not really thinking, yo, is this woman who I want to be with for the rest of my life? What
Hmm.
impact will I have on her? We have a kid in the mix. What do I have set up aside for them? Generation wealth, future planning, to where if I want to be with her, that she won't change her mind. Let me see if she's headstrong. Let me see if I'm a God fearing man. Most of all, is she a God fearing woman, or is she dealing with every Tom, Dick, and Harry out of here? Did I properly vet her to go ahead and go through that? That's what I dealt with.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Is she a loose or promiscuous woman? Because as it says in the Bible, and I don't mean to sound no religious, a wicked woman is given to a wicked man.
Mm.
All that shit. You know what I mean? If you wicked and you not thinking about what you supposed to be thinking about and say, hey, look, I like her a lot. Let me vet her. I ain't trying to pipe her down unless I have some kind of restraint and saying, I want to be with this woman for the rest of my life. I want to be with her in the future. I want all of that from her. You know, yeah, I feel you, Val, as your pal. I know you pillow bound. There's a lot of good information. You know what I mean? It's a lot of good information. And you know what's also crazy? I'm gonna say this before. I'm gonna say this too. The knowledge that I possess is not only what I learned, it's also what I've been through. And what's also crazy is our parents ain't teach us that shit.
They didn't know.
No, aside from them not knowing, they were supposed to teach us this, but being that information and technology has come a long way, we're able to reach one another and put each other on. Feel me?
But a lot of them didn't know.
Yeah, a lot of them didn't know, but again, we are supposed to know because our people are what? Destroyed for the lack of knowledge.
Mm. Mm-mm. But
You see
now
what
we
I'm
know
saying?
liking to teach it.
Yeah, yeah, but not only that, here's where another thing comes into play. Here's where some other next level shit comes into play, right? We have the technology, right? We have the information. Even when given the information, are the people gonna listen? That's why you have to really have people have some kind of discernment as to, okay, cool, I see the information is there. Will I take to it, or it's not interesting as the Kendrick Lamar and Drake battle rap beef, all that other shit that don't make sense. Oh, okay, is it more important than these new Jordans that just came out? You know what I'm saying? I gotta have that. Fuck what he's saying. I want them Jordans. I'ma fight over that. I'm not even gonna show up for work on a worker's application. I'm gonna show up for them Jordans though. Them Jordans is looking kind of tight. You know what I'm saying? I could step on the strip with that. If they get shot up and get my sneakers taken after finding out how much was my shoe size.
But
A lot of people don't think about that. Mind elevation. Even Malcolm X said it, and I'm not saying that to be some kind of preacher on the joint or whatever like that, but you also got to know, remember what he said, be careful of that idol worship. Remember, certain people, certain celebrities, they were put in position to grasp the mind of the masses to keep everybody asleep, while the real ones that's in control starts wiping everybody out,
mm.
keeping everybody distracted, everybody sleep. Oh, well, you seen the new case that's going on that's in federal court, why Millie or whatever? All that shit could be staged and you don't even know it. Oh, his lawyer went to jail. They got the cameras up. You don't think that these people ain't actors? Why do you think they call them acting judge or
Mm.
acting lawyer representing a law firm? Actors. These rappers, actors. These movie stars, actors. They're acting because they get paid on how many people they suck in through the
Mm.
television. Television. Tell lies through what? A vision. You see it, you're being told a lie. Television. Tell lies through the vision. The dummy box, the control box.
Mother Oil said, "What is his name?"
Okay. One mic so focus.
One mic so focused. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Yep. Yeah, she said, what is his name? I must have either struck a nerve or somebody must have been hella interested in seeing what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. But a lot of our parents never really took the time to tell us, hey, what's going on with this. I tried to tell my parents what was going on, and they saw that. You
Mm.
know, you ever notice why a lot of police officers, when they do certain things, the corrupt ones, why they just shoot other people in the back? Because as of right now, you have no rights. You're expendable. And they work for a church that goes along with the Vatican. They call them constables.
Mm-hmm.
They call them constables. Says not your real name on your screen name. Okay, so what about it? Why do you want to know my real name on my screen name? Were you trying to get with me or something like that?
Real name. He's saying not your real name. What's your screen name?
That is my screen name, bro.
Right.
It says right here, what trips me out about Hollywood is that not one of them actors had the same name since the beginning of the stars being considered famous. Yeah, well, the main reason why they have that is because the name that you're looking at is not their real name. It's actually their business name, their legal fiction name, which they set aside from what they were first named as in the beginning before they changed over to that name, which is a catchy phrase.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. Lawrence Fishburne, his name wasn't Lawrence Fishburne in the beginning. It was Larry Fishburne or Lawrence. So when they said
Mm.
Lawrence, he said, "Man, I don't want my name to be no Lawrence Fishburne. I want my name to be Larry Fishburne." So they go
Mm.
ahead, they change their names according to the corporation. A lot of these other names that you may see that may have different names, especially the Europeans, they don't have those same names. Some of them are Russian. Some of them have some names that you can't even pronounce. And if they're actors, they're gonna be like, "Man, what the fuck is this? I can't even pronounce this actor's name." Oh well, he's not noticeable, so I'm gonna go ahead and deal it with somebody else. That'll be somebody else. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it you gotta really take heed and really pay attention to that. All of that shit right there. As far as lawyers, most of these lawyers and judges, that ain't their real names. Y'all may think that's their real names, but all they do is just take from America. That's their job, and they give it to the queen. They take from America and they give it to the queen through those banks. Take from America, give it to the queen. That's why America is in so much trouble now. We're so busy borrowing from everybody. The debt clock, bed bound and not need bound. I should have taken but to sleep. I see this knowledge got you woke. You're like, man, I need to stay awake. I might miss some shit over this. I don't know.
Yeah, she's still here listening. She said she
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
I
There's a lot
had
of stuff.
looked up the ship or whatever about the mother. So even when you said it one time in the comments, I think that's what made me go look it up. And I was like, oh man, okay. So we basically giving them rights to us and our, well, we was already gave rights by our parents, but far as our kids, we gave them rights to our kids. And that's why we have the
You know why?
custody,
You
but
know why,
we,
right?
that's not ours.
You know why,
We
right?
just, why?
Okay, so when you look up the application, right? you look up the application and the birth certificate. A lot of us, we make that mistake because we don't freaking read. And I'm not
Mm.
saying that to be insulting. We don't freaking read. We don't call the stuff to how we supposed to call it. When you're looking at the documents and you're looking it over, it took me a while to notice this because once they presented it to me, I'm like, okay, they're like, yeah, here you go, sign here. And I'm like, all right, hold on, let me read it. So she was just standing over me, and I'm like, yo, can I get a minute? She was just like,
Right.
oh, I'm sorry. Sure, sure. I'm like, yo, you ain't got to stand over me like that. You know, like you over here, you watching my moves. So what I did was, when you look at the birth certificate and you look at the name, it'll say biological mother, and then beneath that it says informant. Informant.
Mm.
Informants do what? Hand over what? Information and property to the next person.
Information.
Informant. They're informing the state that they want to hand over their property and their information, right? So you got to cross out the word informant and put biological mother, right? And then reserve your
Mm.
rights. Same thing with the father. He got to do the same shit too. Do that and reserve his rights. I ain't no property manager. I ain't handing over my property or whatever like that. The lady saw
Mm.
that, she brought it back to me. She was just like, oh well, you know, there's nothing, you know, I mean, we can't say. I'd be like, hold up, who are you? Oh well, I'm the person that, you know, I'm not sure. This might not look so good. You know, y'all might have to go to court. I said, well, wait a minute, hold up. Are you giving me legal advice?
Mm.
Are you a lawyer? Well, I'm not a lawyer. I'm like, all right, so then don't fucking tell me how to sign. You
Mm.
don't tell me how to sign. I got rights to that property. I got rights to that property. You don't tell me how to sign. That property belongs
Mm.
to me. Even though this child was born in this country, that property belongs to me. It don't belong to the state. And you see, with that, by you not reserving your rights, you just opened up a slew of other contracts because you didn't reserve. Anytime you sign anything, sis, I'm letting you know right now, I'm not giving you legal advice. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an attorney. I'm just informational knowledge, and I give good knowledge for everybody to put each other on. You feel me? Whenever you dealing with a contract you sign, and you got to think of yourself as the agent over that name, because that's what you are. You're responsible for that name. That name, if you haven't noticed, everybody, and I want to everybody to take this time because I'm feeling spiffy tonight. I want to get in a couple of classes. You know what I'm saying? I wanna make a couple of classes. I offer that relationship advice and estate advice and stuff like that to put y'all on. You feel me? And with that being said, you gotta look up this video. It's called Meet Your Straw Man. Meet Your Straw Man for anything that you mess up on, or you're responsible for. It's just like, bam, how did this shit happen? Um, how did this situation happen? Boom. You're like,
Please.
I bet.
One
Huh?
mic. Can you repeat the
Yeah.
name?
It's called Meet Your Straw Man.
Meet Your Strong Man.
Meet Your
Okay.
Straw Man. The straw man is basically it's a legal entity that's not you. It sounds like you, but it's called Edom Sonens. Edom Sonens is like a Roman word which means sounds alike, sounds the same, but it's not the same. Like, you know, the
Mm.
words two, the number two, and you know, two has different spellings, TOTWO or TOO, sounds the same, but does not but it's not the same. That's why if you ever notice if you go into court and you sit down and you hear the judge speak, you ever notice how they be speaking Latin, saying all of these names, and you be like, what the hell did he say? Oh, I don't know. I think he's about to get locked up. They're speaking in code right in front of you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And if you want to know and you have a dictionary, you want a law dictionary. I forgot what it's called. I'm gonna get back with y'all on that because I actually have the book. It basically will tell you what kind of language that they're speaking. Once you see it and then you hear it, you could look it up in the little dictionary, and it's got all of their language that's in the dictionary that could, actually teach you or tell you exactly what they're saying word for word, because it sounds the same, but it's different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's called Meet Your Straw Man. So when you're first born, that birth certificate, when you're first born, there's the live flesh and blood side of you, which is, we have no position in that commercial realm, that commercial fiction, but you're supposed to be controlling that name. And then there's the fictional side of you, the side that has no rights, the side that's just the company, the side that you're supposed to control once you get a certain age, at the age of majority, which is 18. You're supposed to say, hey, you know what? I'm perfectly capable of handling my own affairs. I don't need these people's help. I'm able to govern myself, handle my own taxes, do my own shit. I don't need y'all to govern it. So what happens is, a majority of us, we don't. We just be like going through the world, la la la, tra la 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 la, shit piling up, shit on fire, shit breaking down, tra la 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 la, and then bam, uh-oh, I'm in court. I'm in a legal jam right now. What the hell do I do? So now you get hit up in court. A cop pulls you over, say, hey, here, sign this ticket. Did you reserve your rights? Nope. All right. And the cop will ask you, let me see your license. License, lies and sins. That's what a license is. Lies and sins, because they're saying that card that has a picture of you on it, that's you. No, it's not you. That's the back end access to your trust account.
Yeah,
So they
what's
get
good?
that. Yeah. We back. Where
Yeah.
you went
Hey,
off
Rob.
to, bro?
No,
What's
this
good?
not.
Oh, you got dropped out?
Is that me? Like I heard like audio crack. Is that me?
Yeah, I was saying, did you
Hello.
did you get dropped out?
No, I'm still here. Let me mute to see if the audio crack.
I think it's you, sis. That's got the noise in the background.
Okay, I'll mute.
Okay, just mute out, because I want everybody to get this information clear. You get into a legal jam and you're like, oh shit, I'm fucked up right now. And then the cop will be like, hey, let me get your license. And you're like, okay, well, cool, here. So he go back to the car, you know what I'm saying? And you be like, wait a minute, I was supposed to ask him something. Did I harm or injure anybody for you to turn around and pull me over? Like, what's your reasonable, articulable suspicion? He'd be like, hey, look, you know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck about you, but, I'm giving you these tickets right here real quick. And by the way, I just need to know if you understand what I'm telling you. And when you're saying do you understand, basically he's getting jurisdiction over you. He's trying to say that, I have the ability to run your life because you haven't taken the time to take control of your own personal affairs. Do you understand? In other words, do you stand under my authority? Because I never had authority in the first place, but I need to know, do you understand? Do you stand under my boot of authority as being a man over you? So most people will say, "Yeah, I'm gonna nod my head like an ass, like a person that don't know no better. I understand." He's like, great, excellent. Okay, so cool. All you do is sign these tickets here, and you show up in court to get your ass handed to you. Okay? All right, cool. I'm gonna hop in my car. I already got paid. You got tickets and shit, and I'm gonna just walk off. But when you go to court, what do they do? Well, we need to go ahead before you could testify or represent yourself. I'm gonna need for you to raise your right hand, and that's when they get you. Now the court is trying to get their jurisdiction over you. And how do they do that? They make you raise your right hand and raise your right hand and what? I need for y'all to say it.
You guys
Anybody
take
got
an
an
oath?
answer yet?
Swear in.
Swear in, which is what you're not supposed to do. Because think about it. They don't have no Bible there, right? And didn't God say in the Bible only heathens swear?
Hmm.
Right? So ain't none of us here fucking heathens worshiping the devil and all this other shit. And all this other crap. We're not heathens, but they try to get you to swear in against God.
Hmm.
They try to get y'all to swear in against God. Ain't no Bible there. What are you swearing to? Because they had put a stop to that. I remember one time back in the day, this dude told me that when they tried to get him to swear in and have him place his hand on the book, the guy was covering up the book. And he said, wait a minute, is this the Bible? And the guy was like, just put your hand here. Just put your hand here. They said, nah, man, open the book up, man. I don't see nothing on the top of that. And the pages were blank. So they were trying to
Wow.
get him to swear into the devil.
Wow.
That's ill. Oh, there goes Shorty calling. All right, yo, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be back in a few minutes.
Oh,
Y'all can keep the conversation going, but
okay.
if y'all need to reach me, yeah, I hope this is a lot of information, that y'all take to, because that's how they try to get you. You don't want to get got like that. I want to make sure that all of our people
Word.
survive. Like, I know a lot of people want to clown other people and shit, but if y'all want to clown, at least clown somebody that don't have the knowledge. Just don't clown me. I'm a smart motherfucker. I'll find your ass. No, I'm just kidding. But I love y'all. I'm gonna be back in a few minutes, but that's a lot of knowledge, food for thought, because that whole card thing, that ain't y'all. That legal
Okay.
fiction, that legal entity, that's a straw man. That ain't y'all. Y'all control it, but it ain't y'all. It's not y'all.
Facts.
So they said, well, if
Ooh.
it's not you, then who is it? They'd be like, well, that was my estate that was given to me at my birth for what? My benefit. So how are y'all the beneficiaries? Oh, well, we reserve the right. No. Hold on. Are y'all the beneficiaries over that estate? What you mean? Well, you're saying that all this all caps name, because they'll try to turn around and call you a sovereign citizen. Nobody here is a sovereign citizen. Let me tell you why. A sovereign citizen cannot be sovereign and a citizen. That is an oxymoron.
Hmm.
You're not a sovereign citizen. They said, well, what are you? They said, I'm a pre-1933 private American, because that's what we are. We're all private. We're private Americans. And most of all, we're indigenous to the land. This land is ours, not theirs. Just remember, everybody, we're not affiliated with any groups, gangs, any of those little, groups of shit that's a threat. No, we're not a threat. We just know who we are. We're private Americans. And just remember, this is One Mic So Focus. We are the resistance
Word.
for the good, for the greater good. Providing that you have that knowledge and you live that honorable life, whatever you do, be honorable. Do not be dishonorable to give these people a chance to try to deem you or label you. Be honorable. Because once you live honorable, they can't do nothing to you. They can't. They could try to go ahead and grab you and say, oh, yeah, I need for you to get out this car. Okay, well, what crime did I commit? Did I hurt or injure anybody? Well, you need to get out of this car. But tell me first, what crime did I commit? And always keep your hands on the steering wheel and leave the window rolled down just enough where you could speak out of it. Do not leave your windows rolled all the way down for them to stick their fucking hand in the door, because that's kidnapping. If they go ahead, they say,
Word.
I'm gonna bust this window out if you don't come out. Okay, so if you bust it out, you're gonna end up paying for it, because I didn't hurt or injure anybody. Well, why won't you step out the car? I'm an officer. Yeah, you may be an officer, but I don't know what your intentions are, officer. And I'm not an enemy, officer. There's a lot of things that's going on around, officer. How do I know that you'll uphold the oath that you swore to the Constitution of the United States of America?
Word.
And I'm not trying. And if he says, well, when you tell him that, hold up, before you get all upset, I'm not your enemy. Is your supervisor around? Could I talk to your supervisor, please? And the supervisor will know.
Hmm.
I'm not here to argue with you. I didn't do anything, to cause upset you. I understand that you're upset, but maybe this has gone a little bit too far for your understanding. If you don't mind, can you please bring out your supervisor? Thank you. And then you'll see them get their panties in a twist. I can't believe he didn't come out. He didn't want to talk to me. Yeah, yeah, this guy. Yeah, I really don't like him either. Yeah, well, you don't have to like me. That's your job. You're a public servant. You don't see me running around gun toting,
We
shooting
got
shit
two
up.
topics. Can you hear me?
Yeah, going. Yeah.
Okay. It was your what is on your bucket list before you leave here, and also how do you handle stress? That's what something.
Nah,
Oh, yeah. I didn't mean
yo,
to take
bro.
away from
Yeah,
the
you're all
topic.
good to go, man. Yeah. Bro, my fault, bro. If I ever door closed, bro, just like, yeah, you can just open it up, bro. Like, I'm
Oh,
never,
damn, he got something
I'm
else
just
going on
holding
over
close.
there. He tapped out.
He'll
Yeah,
be back.
but
He's
yeah.
staying probably. He'll be back.
Yeah, but it's actually, it's actually that deep, You got to make sure that you get all your stuff together. But I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna time out for a minute. You can keep the live going.
Okay.
Um, yeah, just keep the live going. I'll be back. I'm gonna go ahead and talk to Shorty. If not, I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Put the live up tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna go ahead and try to have a class set up for tomorrow or anybody that wants to join. I don't charge like a crazy amount of money or whatever like everybody else, but just get this knowledge. Once you get that knowledge and you really know how you coming and they see how you coming, they'll be on some shit like, well, damn, this person, he's really one of the Americans that's out there that's doing private shit, you know. And that's
Okay.
all I'll say. That I know this type of knowledge, when you get into this type of knowledge, you would have never thought that all of this shit, they would never teach you this in school. This is the shit that you don't see when you live in a private lifestyle and you going amongst things that are honorable and you're carrying yourself a different way to where other companies have respect for you. They will hold some respect on your name. They will hold some respect on your name. Oh, well, we're going to do this. Oh, well, we're going to do, okay, well, cool. You know what? With this, I charge a fee. You've been violating. I told you not to violate. Now you leave me no choice. Now the IRS is coming after you. Now all of these things are coming after you. Do you have power of attorney? Like most of the majority of the time, a lot of kids that have been born and other people, when they talk about power over the name, you controlling the name, nobody over here has power of attorney over their own name, let alone over their own kids. When you got
Mm.
that shit and somebody try to come out of nowhere, come out of somewhere wayward left, how? I'm hitting them with Mike Tyson paperwork. They're
Mm.
gonna get in that corner. They're gonna take a couple of body shots, and when I get in real close, uppercut. They're like, "Oh
Mm.
shit, I got hit with a frivolous filing because I didn't have no business filing taxes on that name." I'm telling you, when you get people hit up like that, that's when the shit just got real.
Oh.
When they see that paperwork flying at them and they go to get to looking it up, they be like, "What in the hell did I just do when I crossed this person? What did I do?" They pretty
Right.
much put their hand on the not just on the sneaky trap, but I'm talking about them hardcore rat traps, the shit with that big spring that flip that big ass arm over and just slap as soon as they go to try to grab the cheese. Yeah,
Right.
that kind of trap. Yeah. They be like, man, let me just get the cheese this one time. That shit come over, slap hands. Yeah, you shouldn't have had your hands where they don't belong. That's it, straight up. Yep. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get off this live. I was my fault. I took away from your topic today, but it's real serious knowledge that we need to have out there.
You added to the topic, and I liked it.
Yeah, I'm saying like a lot of us need to really start thinking about you know um how we're living. How we're living. But you gotta if you're gonna use this type of knowledge, you gotta use it for the greater good. Don't use it to be spiteful. Don't use it to be like, well, I'm just gonna get information so that way I have more control. No, it ain't about control. It's about protecting your future generational wealth. It's not about getting at the baby daddy. It's not about getting at the baby mother. It's about protecting one another, and that's how we have to keep it. That's how we have to keep it. See, because when you do that, is showing that, okay, you're keeping up with the generational wealth, you're handling situations, so that way the courts don't have to handle it. They'll leave you alone. Um, when you're doing that, if the father has a good, repertoire or whatever, he could be the trustee over the trust over your kid, because that's how it's originally supposed to be. Because if you don't have nothing in there, if you don't have anything set up, then you're automatically deemed under their authority if you don't have a trust set up. If you haven't tried to work out the mitigating circumstances into having things set aside for both parties to actually say, hey, look, you know what? Our kid was just born. Let's set up a trust for him. What do you think the elites are doing? They set up trusts so that way they don't have to bother with it. And with the trust, you're basically saying, okay, cool, I got a trust set up for my kid. I'm going to put this up and I'm going to set it aside for him so that way when he grows up, he's going to be able to own nothing. See, you don't want to own anything. You don't want to have anything put in your name, because anything that's put in your name is a liability, right? Just like how you have a car, sis. You got the car put in your name. Hello?
Yeah.
You have the car, you have your wheels, you have your ride put in your name, right?
Well, yeah.
Why don't you put it in the business name? And then at the end of the year, file for income tax. You see what I'm saying?
Oh,
The car literally paid for itself. You see how I just flipped that? You got the car put in your name, you paying into it, but you ain't getting nothing back. If you go ahead and you get a small business, a little cheap business, it doesn't have to fly very far. But as long as you have a business, you could file all of that money when you have a business account to go ahead and file, okay, what did you spend as far as taxes? Yeah, I spent this amount of money. That was for insurance. When I go to eat, I spent it out of the business account, and that was my lunch money that I spent for groceries and all that other stuff to eat, right? You spent all of that money in taxes. Now you get to take those same receipts and file for income taxes on it at the end of the year. You want to take trips? Okay, cool. I did it underneath the business account. I'm
right.
taking trips. Boom. I'm out of there. And I'm coming back. Okay, that was a $300, $400, $500 trip. Okay, cool. I'm going to save that receipt. Income taxes come. Hey, how much did you spend? Yeah, I spent this amount. Okay, cool. We're going to give you all of that money back. Damn. Like that? Now you literally are your own business. Not only do you have passive income, but you also have the regular job that you work at. A lot of people be taking their money and throwing it every which way, not realizing that you are the investment. You are what you're investing in. If you're investing in bullshit, you get back nothing. You invest in things and you work your way around to working it, you get your money. You get a business or a business profile or Google profile, everybody knows your name. You go ahead, you have some shit happen, situation in court. Oh well, we got this information. Okay, cool. Well, you know that name is a business. Somebody send you a bill. Well, yeah, that name is a business, and I need to know where you got that name. And that name also happens to be trademarked and copywritten. Do you intend to play the game? Or what do you mean? What game? The game is called theft of intellectual property. How do you intend to pay? Then if they go ahead and they fuck around, they get fucked around. You put a lien on their name, and then they'll leave you alone. Bet you then they will. Yep. But that's all I'm gonna say. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you're loving the live stream now. About to get you some views. All right, signing out.
Hey y'all, hit we talking about bucket list tonight and how do people handle stress? How do you handle stress? Do you got a bucket list of things you would like to do before you leave this particular side? Come on up and share. Hey, Amber. What you doing? Okay, what happened? Wow, that's intense. What happened? So you said that he gonna let you keep the dog. Did you like it? Did you want him to hug you? What you enjoy in the hugs? What you like? Oh, what did you think about the hugs? Did you miss them a little bit? I like what you said. Maybe a little, but he got to get his stuff together. I know that's right. We can miss people and still not want to be with them. I really do believe that. I think you can miss somebody and then still be like, but they ain't right. Therefore, I ain't gonna deal with them. Cause I've been there, done that, did that, and it was a whole lot of drama. You can keep her and you gonna travel with her. Yeah, I don't really trust that either. Okay, yeah, girl, I'm in the bed, but I'm here. Good night. Love you back. Hey, who that? Who that? Who that? Hit the link. Hey, gentlemen's club. I'm up. Come up. You see the link? I'm up. How you doing tonight? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Gentlemen's corner. Can you hear me? Hey.
Yo, P, what's up? How you doing? What's up with you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me? You hear me?
Yeah.
Do you hear any distortion?
A little bit. What's going on?
No, just relaxing. Just checking in. Well, how's it sound? Choppy?
A little bit.
Why is that?
I don't know. Maybe because it's raining.
No, I'm talking about on my end. Does it sound distorted on my end? Or
Oh, it's good now.
hold on, let me go to a different place in the spot. Let me go to the gym real quick.
Okay.
How about now?
It's way.
No, because I hear
I'm
it.
back.
I hear it like distorted a little bit.
That's her
It's better.
phone. She moving all around the place.
That wasn't me. See,
That's
No, it still sound like that. I hear it crazy choppy.
Nah, that's her phone. Like if she mute out, it'll stop.
Let me come back in. Hold on a second. Hold on. That sounds crazy.
Oh, there we go. Who muted out?
He did. See, you just blame me.
I ain't blame you. All I know is that when he left, it was like, you know what I'm saying? The jump was still there. And I'm just like, uh-oh.
So you blame me.
Nah, I ain't blame you. I blame the phone. See, blaming you and blaming the phone are two different things.
My gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but when you dealing with that, it just comes along and a whole new different you working with a whole different ball game right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, that was we're gonna have to tell him about it tomorrow too.
Yeah, it's the situation is it's a lot more than what we think we know what's actually going on here because a lot of times these people are not aiming for y'all. I mean, they're aiming for y'all because, well, they're aiming for a lot of people because they figure everybody to be deemed an enemy of the United
Mm-hmm.
States. That was the whole purpose of the state of emergency.
Mm-hmm.
We gone back into where everybody's deemed the enemy of the state, which is crazy. I ain't never hear of some shit like that, but now it's all starting to make sense. Everywhere you go, okay, the police be like, "Yo, man, why you messing with me for?" You know, when the police
Mm-hmm.
pull you over, or when something happens and you're in court, and it could be, you know, something minor, and you notice that they coming at you on a major side. You get what I'm saying? They coming at you sideways, and you're like, "Yo, hold up." You know, why y'all coming at me for it in that kind of manner? And they just like, hey, you know, we just doing it just to be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know why they doing it to you, but you start to figure, hey, you know, they coming at me and I ain't do nothing to nobody. It's because you don't know who you are and you're not coming into their light, so they're saying that they got authority over you and that they're gonna do what they want to do to you.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Mm-hmm.
like if you haven't noticed with the police ain't trying to hear it. You know, when they coming at you, they ain't trying to hear nothing. All they want to do is take you, put you, you know, up somewhere. That's their whole job. Their whole job wasn't based off of intelligence. Their whole job is to go ahead, step on in, and fetch whatever it is that they telling them to do.
Right.
Yeah, and that's no disrespect to any police officer or any part of any person in law enforcement or whatever like that. I'm just telling y'all, yeah, I hate to inform y'all of this, but y'all was not hired because of your intelligence. You were hired because of your enforcement strengths. You know what I'm saying? That's
Mm-hmm.
it. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of police that do have intelligence. There's a lot of people that are in law enforcement that do try to keep the good word and what they've been hired for, but that's not necessarily the case. You know, they're there to enforce orders. That's it. They're not there to bargain with you or reason with you or anything like that. They're there to just do as they're told, and that's it. Plain and simple.
Do what they told, and that's it.
Do what they're told, and that's it. Everything else don't matter. That's real talk. You ever see some people, they be like, but I just know, and then all of a sudden you see the cop be like, all right, let me just wait for him to stop talking and still give him this ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they ain't trying to hear none of that. You'll get some that might let you off the hook, and then you'll get some that'll just be like, all right, just listen, just hear him out, and still give his ass the ticket anyway. Bong, here you go, sir.
Mm-hmm.
They be like, hear him out, let him finish. All right, you finish it? You're like, yeah, you know, finish. Okay, cool. All right, so Here's what we're dealing with. Unfortunately, I don't give a fuck about your feelings. I don't give a fuck what you got going on, but you still got to take this L and pay this ticket.
Right.
They be like, all right, screw you, Poppy. Now I'm off to the bank.
Right.
Straight up. You get certain
Terrible.
judges that are on the same shit too. The judge gets paid on how many people he get to have, bringing in that conveyor money belt. Anytime he dismisses a case, he has to discharge that bond, and that bond comes out of his judge retirement fund. Huh?
I said, wow.
Yeah, like think about it. When the judge is finished, serving up the people, spanking everybody around, smacking them all around, if they say, hey, you owe all of this bread and whatnot, he's gonna be like, oh yeah, I owe all of this bread. Yeah, you owe all of this bread. Okay, cool. So since I owe all of this bread, um, you know what? Check this out right here. I owe all of this bread, but before I retire, this is how much I'm gonna be getting. And then they say, okay, cool, we're gonna give you all of that money as part of your retirement plan plus any other bonuses. That's why you see certain judges, they be going so hard to convict somebody. And it don't even be no proof, no evidence. He just be like, well, it's his word against yours. So I'm gonna go ahead and impose a fine on you. Can you do this? It's all about deals and contracts.
Mm-hmm.
All about deals and contracts, nothing else. You ever notice how a judge be like, so I hereby find you this. Can you pay this today? Trying to make a deal with you. Can you pay this today?
Mm-hmm.
Can you pay that today? Can you pay this off? How soon can you do it? And then when the person don't have the money, they're like, well, you were supposed to pay it. Can you pay this today? Can you pay that today? You might as well might as well have a saying instead of court. You just might as well say, hey, let's make a deal. You might as well make a show on that. Let's make a deal. But can you pay this today?
Right. Right.
Yep. That's what it's all about. You do the hokey pokey and you pull your wallet out. That's what it's all about.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Ooh, check this out.
Hey,
You know about trust and estate planning, right?
Daddy. Tell me about it.
Okay. So trust and estate planning is it's like creating another avatar.
Mm-hmm.
When you create another avatar, that next avatar is kind of like a buffer in between you and the next person. And that buffer is the trust. The trust is that entity. Yep.
The trust is the entity.
Yeah, the trust is the entity that sits forth between you and the other person that might be trying to get to you. Instead of them calling out the name, which is the name that you control, you have an entity in between it, which offers you some kind of asset protection.
Mm-hmm. So you got back your name.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's all about how you control it. If you don't have no control over your name, you're basically you basically out in the open with no protection. Or the least amount of protection is all that somebody got to keep doing is to just keep using your name. But if they keep using the name that you don't have no control over, anybody can make a claim on it. Think about it. It's like insurance coverage. I could just keep saying, hey, you ran into me. And then you're like, no, I didn't. They say, yeah, you did. And they be like, no, I didn't. They be like, yeah, I got a claim right here. but you don't have no claim to control your name, so I could keep making claims off of you. But then
Wow.
when you start, yeah, it's called it's not called usurpation of authority. It's called usury. Usury. Where
Mm.
somebody's just constantly using your name for their benefit. But then when you catch them out there, you're like, hey, that name is protected. And they're like, oh yeah, prove it. And then you pull that out. And you say, yeah, I got a claim to that. And then I told you to stop, so now I'm charging you for it. Now they're like, oh shit, let's just leave him alone. No. Before you said let's just leave you alone, I'm gonna need some of that money out of you because you've been causing me damages. You caused me financial injury.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you a question. How many kids do you have? Hello?
And they won't have to
Hello?
take out a loan on us anymore. Yes, I'm here.
Oh, I see you busy.
I'm here. Huh? I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, okay. Now I asked you a question.
What you say?
Now I was saying how many kids do you have?
4.
Oh, 4? Okay, cool. Oh, damn, girl, that's a lot of loving right there. No, I'm just kidding. Um, yeah, so did you ever think about setting up your son for a private trust?
Hello.
Yeah, hello?
Hello.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Okay. How many
Yeah,
do
can
you
you hear me
have?
now?
Yes.
Nah, yeah, actually, how many do you have? You said 4.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so you got four little ones. And I
Mhm.
said, did you ever think about setting your kids up for a private trust?
Yeah, I think about it sometime.
Okay. Because think about it. The generational wealth comes in, right? Let me tell you
Mhm.
another thing about private trusts too. A private trust, you could set your kids up for a private trust, and whatever property that you have, you could pass it down to them,
Right.
like a house, a car, and bank accounts, stuff like that. But if you don't have it set up, it's just lost. It's just lost.
Right.
Your kids don't have anything being sent down to them. They don't have anything going to them or whatnot, and they're just, they don't get that generational wealth passed down to them. That's what the elites do. They take all of that money, they pass down that generational wealth down to their kids, and that's how their kids stay rich because they know how to allocate the assets, the money, the wealth, the cars, the houses. They don't own it. The trust does. Then you have what they call trustees. Trustees, people that are trusted to run it all for them or that keep things in check, allocating the property and certain expenditures to where they're supposed to be going.
Right.
For example, you have a trust, right? And you say, okay, cool, I have a bank account that has millions and millions of dollars, right? Which we do, but we can't have the ability to access it. We have millions and millions of dollars according to our birth certificates that are being traded off on anytime they use that all caps name. The birth certificates are a lot of money because those are bonds.
Mhm.
Those are bonds. So, with that being said, anytime that that's used, you have that as bonds, and then that's on the private side. Then you have the money that's on the public side. You could take the money that's on the public side and say, hey, I got a bank account. It's got thousands of dollars in it. So upon my death, um, my son is gonna get this amount. Out of all 4 people, XYZ is gonna get 25%. The second one in line is this one. They're gonna get 25%. The third line on this one is gonna get 25%, and the fourth one is gonna. So that's a four-way split.
Mm.
So if you got three people on the account, then it will get split three ways, and then you get to tell them what they're gonna get, and have an agreement set in between all of them, and have their name signed on it, to where they get the property or whatever it is that you're leaving them behind.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it means to do asset protection. You passing down the shit from generational wealth to generational wealth. Or say if you had a house, right? And you don't have a will set aside. They say, oh, that's what a will is for. Yeah, you also want to have a will, but you also want to have a trust. A trust is like a will, so that way it doesn't need to go to the court. If you pass unexpectedly, and then boom, out of nowhere something else happens, and you're like, damn, you know what I'm saying? He passed away, but he didn't leave me shit.
Right.
So now they passed away and they didn't leave you shit. It goes to the courts, and the courts get that,
Mm.
and then they turn around and try to sell it for themselves. They'll put it in the newspaper and say, hey, anybody owns this house, come forward now, forever hold your peace, blah 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 blah. So then they'll turn around and be like, okay, well, the house belongs to the state. We're gonna go ahead and sell it off to some other person because this other person didn't come forward. So now it's in probate, and that's the very last thing that you want in probate, because they'll just take all your shit, sell it off to the next person, because you didn't have a claim to that property. Teaching you about the history. Remember when England burned down in 1666? You ever heard of that? Hello?
Yeah.
Did you ever hear about the Sestakay in England 1666?
No, tell me about it.
Okay. The Sestakay of 1666 was derived from England, right? When England burned down, and after they burned the hell out of England or whatever like that, and people lost family, property, and everything like that. So now anybody that didn't have property set up, they lost everything. And that's how it was kind of like reset. So they would call out that person's name in court, see if they answered. If they didn't answer, then the property would get handed off to somebody else. So they would use that and say, look, unless you got, something held in trust, we can't allocate you your property. So now your property belongs to the queen. So now
Well,
anytime somebody says something, like that property is being handed off to somebody else and not you.
mm-mm.
Yeah, that's part of the Cesta KV Act.
Miss
It's called the
Quantity.
Cesta KV Act. 1666 was an early statute codifying the common law in relation to the presumption of death after a person has been missing for at least 7 years. So that's what they deem everybody to be. They deem everybody to be dead if they don't come forward to grasp their shit after 7 years after they've been first born.
Mm. 7
hmm
years after they first born.
7 years after they're first born. If they don't say anything, then they're going to be deemed as lost at sea.
Wow. Hey Q, how you doing tonight? Lost AC. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hey Q. How you doing tonight? Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's called the Sesta KV Act.
Mm, wow. They know 7 years ain't no time for no, cause ain't no basically a baby gonna come and even have the knowledge to do any of that.
Nah, they not. That's why they play that so unfairly in the system.
Hmm. But you said we could get it back.
Yeah, you can get it back, but you have to make sure that you have everything lined up.
Okay.
See, look, check it out. Okay, what is the Sesta KV Act? Sesta KV is a part of modern law. When a trust is created, that means you and your man created your daughter, or your mother and your father created you. When a trust is created, it is done for the benefit of a specific individual who was identified in the trust document. That's you. And you're benefiting off of the trust that was made. That's the straw man, right? The trust that your mother and your father got together, laid down and created you. And a trust, the Sesta KV trust, is the person who has an equitable interest in the trust. That means it was created for you and nobody else. In the meanwhile, everybody else is trying to benefit from it. Until you come forward, that legal title of the trust is given to the trustee. So if you don't do what's in your best interest to tell the trustee what to dropped out of the call. Hello?
Yeah,
Hey, you heard what I said?
I didn't hear anything. What what's going on with this thing? Go ahead.
Oh man. Nah, I was saying that when it comes down to the Sesta KV Act with the Sesta KV Trust, you must be falling asleep. When a trust is created for the benefit of a specific individual who is identified in the trust document in a trust, the Sesta KV Trust is the person who has an equitable interest in the trust.
Uh-huh.
The legal title of the trust, however, is given to the trustee. So, in other words, if you don't do what you're supposed to do and make sure that you handle your own private affairs, then the trustee will start doing things that they want to do to it for their beneficial interests and not for your beneficial interest as the beneficiary. Because there's four parts to the trust, right? There's at the top, there's the beneficiary, right? There's the trustee, and then there's the actual person, which is the decedent. The decedent is not the beneficiary. He can't benefit off anything. He's dead. That's the straw man. Then you have the trustee. The trustee is the person that's supposed to be doing things in your best interest. but the majority of the time they don't. So that's why you have to give the orders or give the commands for them to do their job. If they ain't doing it, then you pretty much asked out. You need to go to somebody else or have it done by a chancery. It's all New England shit, man. It's that deep.
Mhm. Wow.
You know. Anyway, yeah. I see you falling asleep.
You deep
I'm gonna go
in.
ahead and get off of here.
I'm not falling asleep,
Huh?
but
You sure? Yo, what up, Q? Yo, beauty's on a budget.
yes.
You falling asleep.
I'm really
I said,
not. I'm woke.
no, your ass is falling asleep. This
I'm not.
knowledge
My
is so
stuff
good.
probably
Say you,
going.
huh?
Yeah, no, my stuff probably going in now because it's trying to rain a little bit, but
Oh,
I'm
okay.
woke. Yeah.
Yeah, how come I had to say your name like 4 times in a row?
I told that's probably because of the rain. You
Oh,
heard the storm. Boom, boom,
yeah,
boom, boom.
that rain
It wasn't
putting
even
your ass to
rain
sleep.
at that time.
Mm-hmm. That rain putting your ass to sleep.
I love the rain. Do you like the rain?
That's all right. Without rain, there wouldn't be water to drink. So I'm grateful.
Right? Right. But it's okay. You come back tomorrow. You say you coming back tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm gonna come back tomorrow.
Okay.
What do you need to know? Like, what questions you got for me?
I don't know, but I know they was interested in it tonight, so um
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. When you go
they
into the
wanted to know how
courtroom,
we get our name back for one. I
well,
know they wanted that question.
yeah, but you also gotta remember too, like, okay, um, that last name that you have, right? A majority of the time, a lot of people they have this thing, like a
Mhm.
lot of our last names. We only really were called by our first name, but then they had the thing called a sure name, which is a part of the family name, where a lot
Mhm.
of our so-called last names, we be having the last names of other people that had pretty much ownership over our ancestors at one point. So they gave us their names because we were their
Right.
property at that time. We already know what that was about. But
Right.
when you come into the light, you take a control over that name, or if you feel like you want to choose another name, which is going to be your not your Appalachian name, but your God-given name. You know, the name that you want to go by, because we are not just American Indians, but we're also Israelites as well,
Mm.
because we go back as far as the Bible. You get what I'm saying? So we gotta go back to our name, back to our roots and our generation of how we have it seen fit. As far as
Right.
American Indian, or you want to be Ben, Israel, or a name that that you're familiar with, that you want to have as your God-given name. Mine is Kyle Nasi Malak. You
Wow.
know what I'm saying? Kyle Nasi Malak. Yeah. Like if you look up your name and you try to pull up your name in biblical terms, and is it, you know, uh, uh, I forgot how they call it, biblical name, Israel or Malachi, those kind of names, those names of Israel, because we are the children of Israel as well. We come in many different styles, shapes, forms. A lot of the fellas have lost their way. A lot of the women have lost their way. Why? Because they've adopted the ways of the world. It's okay to know of the world, but not be in it.
Mm,
The wicked ways of the world. Because I mean, look at it. Look at it like this, sis. Okay, each and everything that we learn, that we always fell victim to, right? It always has some kind of influence, because
right.
not only is God here, but the devil is also here too.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. He's had some kind of influence. Okay, cool. Uh, instead of women covering up, not leading the men with the temptations of the flesh, what am I gonna do? Nah, I'm gonna tell everybody here, bad is good. It's okay to have slut walk. We want y'all to keep fornicating and not getting married, not to the system, but we don't want y'all getting married. We want y'all to keep fornicating, having sex, having children out of wedlock,
Mm-hmm.
little like a whole bunch of other shit in there. Yeah, we want your kids running loose. We want you to have some kind of influence. We want all your kids to be a rapper and not obey the worships of God, and having to be led into the proper um understanding that God is here and He's always watching, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter what you do. But if you're not holding close to His words, you're gonna go through some shit because
Right.
you're not staying close to Him. Whenever you see dudes walking over there and they walking past and they see a chick all scandalously dressed, they're like, man, she got her butt sticking out, she got her boobs sticking out, she got her nails painted. Every time she walk with a bounce. Man, I want to get that. You see, you thinking along the ways of fornication, but you haven't really gotten a chance to vet that woman or walk up on her and hold her accountable and be like, yo, shorty, let me ask you a question. Yo, why you dressed like that?
Mm,
Go put some clothes on. You over here, you walking around, you wanna tempt men, you wanna lead, a
mm-hmm.
man with his eyes, and he doesn't know nothing of what's in your soul. Do you
They don't be
believe in
looking for
God?
souls.
They don't be looking for souls. They be looking, she be looking to take souls. You get what I'm saying?
Ah,
And the shit ain't even cool. Cause think about it. You could be having sex with a demonic spirit. A chick that
mm-hmm.
you over here, you making love to her, you like, cause I learned my lesson from that shit. And I want everybody to learn their lesson here. When I first started dealing with my baby moms, I didn't know that she was a demonic spirit.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know of this, and I'm not trying to talk bad about anybody, but this is what I went through. When I was dealing with her, I didn't know she was a full-blown covert narcissist. Now, a
Man.
narcissist, yes, a narcissist plays many different roles in a relationship that a lot of people don't know about, because that is a demonic spirit, a demonic
Man.
spirit. They'll go ahead, they'll love bomb you. You be like, oh man, Shorty doing good. And I'm just like, I'm slowly vetting her and everything like that. I laid up with her and I'm just like, man, Shorty treating me right now. I'm gonna lay her down. I'm gonna knock her down like a tree. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna stand tall. All right, cool. Time to get knocked down. Uh,
Mm,
laid up with that. That was where the love bombing and everything, buying me shit. And I'm like, look, I don't want none of that shit. I just want to go ahead. I want to have a good time. I want to make you my wife over time, but I'm gonna keep knocking you down. Not realizing that she wasn't the person who I thought that I was laying down with.
right.
So when I was laying down with her, then came the devaluation after the love bomb. That had come in three phases: the love bomb, the devalue, and then the discard. So then good things would happen, and I'd be like, yo, man, I found some money in the street, you know what I'm saying? A whole shitload of money. Oh, well, how much was it? Yo, I found like $150, you know what I'm saying? And I needed that money. I wasn't starved or hard up for it, but at the time I needed it. You know, I was a couple of days away
Right.
from payday. You know how it is. You working a shitty job and you like, man, I need to get this food and whatnot. All of a sudden, boom,
Right.
God blesses you and says, hey, you've been doing the right thing. So, I'm gonna bless you with that. Somebody just may lose 150, but I'm gonna give you this 150. You know what I'm saying? So now you
And
find that
what
money, you like,
happened?
oh shit, amen. You know what I'm saying? They like, yo, I found $150 today. Oh, I don't think that's that much. I don't think that's a lot of money. What?
Right.
Are you serious? Like you trying to play moi? What, shorty? You serious right now? You didn't give me that money. God gave me that money.
Right.
So then after a while, I would notice that, certain red flags. You see, that's where you gotta be hit to them flags, man. Them red flags will tell you everything you need to know. But you gotta watch the signs. Like Tupac was saying, watch the signs. Watch the signs. If that person ain't respecting you, then you gotta be like, hold up. This person ain't respecting me. Every time I turn around, this person's always giving me a problem. The universe and the most high will tell you based on the energy that you feeling around your aura to see if that person is actually worthy enough to be within your presence. The energy of the world of the universe will tell you what kind of person has a serious negative energy for you to stay away from. Real things will start coming to light. That person will probably give you a hard time. That person probably won't respect you. That person will probably try to throw obstacles in your path unnecessarily to the point where you start to question their loyalty. That's when you know that person doesn't need to be in your life. So once I started noticing that, I said, hey, you know what? I can't do this no more. I'm not dealing with this no more. Boom. I'll just, I'll deal with the kids or whatnot from a distance. You never want to ever put yourself in that situation. So I learned my lesson from that. And when I used to talk to her and get into like verbal debates with her, but never an argument, I would always tell her, hey, do you believe in God? And then her eyes would kind of like turn up. Her eyes would get real dark, or she would have slits in her eyes. That's a demon. You feel me?